Hello, I'm gonna do a little vlog. I'm gonna work on a few different things and I thought it would be fun to show you. Yeah, okay. Welcome to the vlog.
Hi, my name is Gwen. I am an artist, and this is a day in my life. Today was really all about exploring what I want to make and also kind of what I want to share. I wanted to write some new ideas for videos, but actually I really just wanted to figure out what it is that I want to share, like why I'm actually here. And I was listening to a podcast with Erica Kramer and Amy McNee, and one thing that they said was about the journey. Instead of only showing when you're successful, whatever that means, and saying stuff like, I once started from nothing. Why not just show the starting from nothing? Or something along those lines. And it really struck a chord with me. Because what I'm actually excited about is sharing my journey. I mean, I don't know how to be an artist. I'm just figuring it out in real time. And I'm also just a person living life, doing random stuff, like gardening, whilst figuring out how to be an artist. And I want to take you along for that. Okay, let's go make some art. I'm working on a watercolor painting of my dad cleaning the window, which is one of my submissions for the Winsor & Newton watercolor contest. Winsor & Newton is the watercolor brand, and they came out with 8 new watercolor colors, and the contest is basically to make a painting using one or more of these colors. So that's what I'm doing here. And what I find interesting about this picture is kind of the meeting between the outdoors and the indoors, like the interaction between them, with the window being a literal pane between the two. And I also really like the composition, the intersection between different lines. Yeah, I really like this painting. I also worked on some final illustrations for the menu for our cafe that we are opening in just a few weeks. And I already did some drinks, and I just had some more to do, like a cookie and a cake. It's gonna be really cute.
Okay, I'm in the studio. It's a bit crazy because my mom is painting some panels and a door for in the cafe, and my dad is making new signs to go somewhere on the road, so it's a bit crazy. But I want to paint something, and I've been thinking that I maybe want to try to work a little bit more in series or collections or whatever you want to call it, but just some paintings that are related to each other in some way. And I sometimes try to already do that, but it doesn't always work out that way. That's fine, but I want to try to be a bit more intentional about that. And I just want to go look if I have some paintings that I haven't finished that could work together in some way. So I'm gonna go do that. They're stored, most of them are stored in another room. I have some right here, but that's mostly portraits. But there's a few there, but there's a lot more upstairs, so I'll show you. Here we go. Here we have my little warehouse warehouse of paintings, and some of them I think are finished and some of them I'm not sure, but let's see. Oh yeah, this one. This one is finished. It can stay here. Ooh, yeah, this one. I already made cards or some prints of this because I liked it, but I'm thinking that maybe I want to do something about it anyway. I don't know if that's illegal in Artland, but whatever. Yeah, this one. I want to do something about this. I love it. And then there's some of which I think, I don't know if I want to do anything with that or just want to paint it over. I don't know if this is controversial, maybe, but it's really common for me to just paint over a painting that I'm like, I don't know, this is not me, and then just reuse the canvas to make a different painting. Like, am I gonna regret this sometime? I don't know, this is just kind of what I do a lot of times. I don't really mind about throwing things away too. Sometimes I regret it, but a lot of times I think I don't even remember. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about that one. Een Franse? Ja. Oh? Is dat voor het eerst? I don't know. I don't know. I just want to talk about this a little bit more. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll do that later. I also want to repurpose this, I think. And I mean, there's a theme. Like skies. But I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. Let's just bring these all back to the studio and have a good look at them. Alright. Okay, so I didn't plan for this, but I guess we're thinking sorting out every painting I ever did and trying to figure out some collections and some things I can build upon. Like maybe some themes. And also figure out which things I'm really not interested in anymore, because that was something that I wanted to talk about a bit. Okay. I don't know where to start. Yeah, this one. This one that prompted me to kind of touch upon how it goes when I'm kind of experimenting with a theme or with something I think like maybe this is something I want to paint, and then I make quite a few paintings of it, and I don't know, it's just, it kind of feels tacky to me now, I think, in some way. I think the sky is very pretty. But the paintings just they just kind of bore me, I think. I don't really know yet how to handle that kind of stuff, like how to deal with if I'm not interested anymore in something that I used to paint a lot. I kind of have the tendency to want to destroy everything that I did before. Maybe not really destroy, but just paint over it, so that I end up with only paintings that I like now. But that really doesn't make sense, because I will continue to change and evolve, probably, and I will not like everything that I ever did. but it kind of also feels like a waste of space to keep all these paintings that I don't like. And also like a waste of canvas because I'm poor as fuck. And I want to repurpose my canvases. But I'm not sure yet how I want to go about this and when I want to be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep this even though I don't really like it. And some other time like, oh, this is really not something I want to have. Or this really does not align with what I want to say. And I mean, also it's my own choice. I can like paint over everything that I've ever did if I want to. But I don't know, I'm just thinking about it. And it's funny because it's just up to me entirely, which makes it, I mean, in some ways it makes it more difficult, but it's also the only way to do this. Because it's my art. Of course I have to decide. Just feels like some big responsibility somehow. I'm responsible for all this art. Okay.
Honestly, in the end, I just go by how I feel about a painting. Because usually I just know what I want to keep and what I don't. And it's like I said, it is up to me. Of course, I have to decide. It is my art. I just gotta trust myself. That's the only thing that I can do. Something that I like to talk about a lot is finding your voice as an artist. And I think that one of the hardest parts about that is learning to trust yourself and your own judgment instead of looking at what someone else is doing. It's the hardest, but it's also the most important. I said earlier that it doesn't make sense to paint over everything that I don't like in order to end up with only paintings that I do like, because I'm constantly changing. But in hindsight, I do actually think it makes perfect sense. Of course, I'm changing, but I do sometimes keep old paintings that I don't really like that much anymore in my portfolio or in my studio, or I sell them. Ones that I don't really like anymore as paintings, but that I can appreciate for what they represent. Like an old era of my art that I like to have a visual reminder of. But in the end, with every canvas that I'm painting over, I am figuratively and literally building upon my old work in order to find what I really want to make. Okay, that is all that I wanted to share with you today. If you would like to see more of my journey, then feel free to subscribe. Put on notifications if you don't want to miss any future videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!